With the rising prices of gas and high level of unemployment, guys, the recession period is here with us. It's not the first time. If you've been around for some time, around 11 years ago, it happened around 2008. So if you're around my age, this is not your first recession, and you're able to know when it's happening. The high cost of living is really up the ceiling. So we have to be prepared. And so the reason why today I decided I come up with this video, how to financially prepare for financial crisis. As per the experts, it has not even started. We are yet to face the worst. So we have to prepare, ready, and find measures that can enable us survive this period. And so that's what we're going to discuss today. If you're new, please remember to subscribe. So as I said, a recession can really impact your day-to-day life and also your budgets. So you have to be really prepared so that you're not caught off guard when it happens. Currently, what we are facing is just a warm-up. But come next year, things are going to be worse. And so we have to be ready. We have to check in our finances. We have to revisit our budget and everything so that we are not caught off guard. During the pandemic, there are so many people who are laid off, and that was just a preparation for a recession. It was coming, and it's not yet here. As per the experts, it is yet to happen. From next year, 2023, things are going to be worse. So we have to start preparing now. It's not very far off, but it's better to prepare early than to be found unprepared. So as I said, what is a recession? A recession is an economic downturn which can really affect everyone. And we are already experiencing it with the rise cost of living. Gas prices are up. Inflation rates are up. The interest rates are up. So everything is just crashing down. And most of us, our income remains the same. So how can we really prepare for this period? It's tough for most people, especially if you don't have a job, because I know even people who have an earning, it's still tough. So I'm really feeling for those who are already unemployed and they have to survive in this economy. So we have come up with some of the steps you can take so that you prepare for the financial crisis that is yet now to come. We're already feeling the pinch, but it's not yet there. We are yet to face the worst. So subscribe if you haven't. Let's get down to how we are going to prepare for this. So it's not the first time, and that's why at least there are things that can be done to prepare for that period. So what usually happens during the recession, it's like our spending in our household really goes up. And a good example is just the fuel prices. The gas prices are up, and that impacts every other sector of economy, since fuel is used in every industry, in manufacturing, and it's like it controls the economy. So once the fuel prices goes up, everything else is affected. So the only thing is we need to find ways of how we are going to decrease our spending, but how, since we are not in control of prices. So one of the ways is that we need to understand that cash is the king. Whenever there is a recession, we need to be up, like we need to manage our cash well. We need to pump in more cash if we can. So it's the best time where you can start either a side hustle that brings in more money than what you're earning if you're employed. Since we need more cash, maybe you can negotiate a salary increase, though it's never easy for most employers. There are some employers who always have a reserve for in case of such a period where people get an increment on their salaries. But if you're not lucky enough, you can actually negotiate for a salary increment, since you can't be spending the same amount of money you were being paid last year in this economy. It's not enough. I know if you're watching me, you can tell 5,000, whatever it was buying last year, you cannot buy with it even half of that. So the inflation rate has really gone up, and the only way is that we need more cash. How are we going to get this cash? It's either through negotiation with the employer, or up your CV, your curriculum vitae, so that we can get an extra job. You can work an extra job or do an extra training so that you are prepared for the recession-proof jobs. I'd shared about recession-proof businesses, which you can still look into and start one of them, and also get into industries that are recession-proof, like health. You can decide to start nursing course or a certificate in nursing, and you'll never lack a job in those recession-proof jobs. So it's the time that we need to look into how we're going to improve our income. We need to increase our cash so that we don't crash with the economy. The economy is bad, but we have to stand up and prepare for it. We need to review our budgets, our household spending. If there are things you think you can cut from your budget, be ready to do that, since that's the only way you need to spare up some cash. So if there's a way you can cost share with friends and family, the better, so that you have at least extra cash to survive in this harsh economy. And also we need to build our savings. We need to have at least 3 to 6 months, because this economic downturn can last even up to 6 to 12 months. So you are never sure. You need to pump up money in your savings account, in your emergency fund. You need to pump up money that can sustain you between 3 to 6 months in case things get worse. And most people might end up losing their jobs. What if you suddenly lose your job, since you're no longer needed with your companies, because they're also performing well in this economy? So unless you're in the recession-proof industry, you're just at risk. You might lose your job anytime. So save more if you can. Get that extra skill, just in case you're out of your job, you can do something else. Go through my previous video on recession-proof industry, businesses, and also there's recession-proof jobs that you can look into. Healthcare, transport, food industry, there are so many. So just look into those and try and get a skill or get a certification if need be, so that you are ready for another job in case you lose your current job. So you need to reassess your monthly budget. There are so many ways you can evaluate every month to see what expenses could be kicked out of your budget. As I said, things like subscription, monthly TV subscriptions, I think that we can live without. Carrying food to work, you can choose to carry food instead of buying lunch, because you'll be sparing some extra 100 or 200 shillings. Only buy what you need, like have a shopping list whenever you're going to the supermarket. And also you can decide to buy in wholesale shops instead of buying in the supermarkets, because whenever you walk into a supermarket you end up spending more. That is if you're not disciplined. So you need to really check into your budget. Check into your emergency fund. Make sure that you're pumping in more money. And also things like insurance. Talk to your employer about insurance. You can negotiate rates for your renewal of car insurance, health insurance. If you can get a better, lower rate, you can go for it. So find ways of negotiating anywhere where there's a space that you can negotiate. If you can negotiate for your lower rates for your insurance, the better. If you can negotiate for lower rates for even your rent, even though it's affecting even your landlord. So that is the only way we are going to spare some cash to survive in these hard economic times. Then another thing is we should also focus on paying off our debts, because debts can really bring you down when there is no money. In case you lose your job and you have a loan you are paying, that can be really tough. So the best way is, if you have money now, if you're still in employment, if you spare some cash, clear off your debt, so that when things get rough, you don't have a debt to pay. At least it's just your mouth to feed. So focus more on paying off high interest debts. Then you need to review also your investments. You need to review an investment. You need to keep up with your usual contributions, either towards your retirement. If you already have a pension fund, you try to maintain it within that what you had budgeted for. And also it can be intimidating to put money in while in a recession, but don't be tempted to stop it, because that is also equally important. So it can benefit you in long term, but let not the short term problems affect your long term plans. So just continue contributing for your pension funds and emergency fund. Then just maybe evaluate your investment choices. Let's say stocks which are high risk, which are really directly affected by the economic downturn. This is the time to avoid making emotional money decisions. Don't make huge financial choices right now or financial changes at the moment. You can hold on to what you have. If it's stocks, you can just hold on. Don't rush into selling off, because this is a temporary thing. It has happened before and we went through it, and we'll still go over it. So don't rush and sell all your investments trying to free off some cash. Then, as I said, build more skills. Be ready for other jobs opportunities, especially recession-proof jobs. So you can also prioritize your online and in-person networking events. So you can master your digital and in-person networking skills by attending these networking events at least once a month. So connections are very important. Learn to network so that in case of anything happening to your job, you can get connections that can help you start over or get another job. So don't panic, because this is a temporary thing that will pass. Just hold on to what you have. Live to the minimum. If you're lucky enough to make that extra cash, work on it so that you don't lack your basic needs. And also don't increase your debts. Even though recession may be lower, during recession interest rates for loans may be lower, but don't increase your debt. Don't be tempted to take more loans so that you're able to have cash to survive in this period. And also don't take your job for granted. That job you are having right now, it's very important, because that's where it will enable you to build that emergency fund, to increase your savings, and that's what we need. We need more right now when the recession period is happening. Having a backup plan is important, so get that skill just in case some layoffs happen. You are prepared. So I think that's what I have for today. Recession is happening. Let's pray for each other. Let's work harder and let's save more. Let's be really let's cushion ourselves against the economic hard time that is coming. It's not yet here. It's actually on the way. Whatever we're experiencing is just the beginning. So there's worse that is coming to happen, and we should be ready. So I hope you've learned something, and let me know in the comment section what you think. How are you preparing for this period? Because we have to. It's nothing, we cannot ignore this. It's happening around the world, and everyone must be ready. So I'll see you again in my next video, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll talk again later. Bye bye.